For today's episode, make sure you're caught up on episodes 9, 10, and 11. Coming up on this episode of Lust to Dust.
Eventually the alcohol won and convinced me to...
From lust to dust.
Welcome back to From Lust to Dust special episode.
A woman featured in the book.
In the book, are you comfortable us revealing which character you are? Do we want them to?
I mean, I think it's going to come out eventually. So
The illustrious Audrey.
Then one afternoon, Chuck and I were working away at our respective businesses in the condo, and he looked up for a moment and said, "Bob, Sophia's older sister Audrey is coming to town tomorrow. Sophia says she's very pretty."
Let's start out first. So your first meeting with our father was in 06. Any memory of maybe that first trip to Charleston and staying there?
Yeah.
Just kind of walk us through your impression of that.
So I moved to Charleston in October of 2006. So this would have been like the summer before or some kind of long holiday. Or your assertions in one of the episodes was correct. I was in a miserable relationship and my sister was vying to get me out and get me healthy.
Now, it's true that Sophia was very pretty, but what were the odds of her sister being beautiful as well?
The assertion was, I guess, in the episode we covered, we had assumed you're in a really bad relationship. Your sister is now trying to get you out of this.
This weekend was entirely in your hands because Bob was 100% going to be interested in you. And then it was a question of...
So I had no idea I was coming up there to meet Bob, you know.
Oh, no. So he was the surprise.
I mean, it was the surprise. I mean, my sister's like, come on, we're going to go to some great dinners in Charleston and get on the water. And
Next thing you know, you got a 47-year-old recently divorced guy talking at you with wine breath. and
You come up there, it's a weekend away, and you meet Bob, and kind of what was, I guess, your first impression or...
I mean, how does anyone digest their first meeting with Bob? I was like, okay, kind of reminds me of like my best friend from elementary school, her stepdad. I don't know, there was some kind of assimilation between him and Larry.
That's funny. That's funny.
so he reminded you of your friend's stepdad.
He had a very funny swag to him, like kind of like I'm a gigolo hanging out at Studio 54 and I had to pay them extra to get in or something.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But he was funny. He had like really, really silly dad jokes and, you know, just...
Do you think he thought he was smoother than he was and maybe that played into it or was he pretty slick?
1,000%.
Okay.
And, you know, he'd been around the block a few times. But so I was, I guess, 30. So he would have been, what, 40... 45?
You think he's 47?
I think he was like 48.
47?
He may have lied to you about his age, but he's
17 or 18 years older than me. Like, that's kind of crazy.
yeah, that's a little nuts.
That means right now he would be like almost 70.
Yeah,
My dad's age,
this year.
basically.
Think about it. You were basically his age now as when you met, which is
Right.
Think about how many years have gone for you.
Right.
I don't want to, Brett. Thank you.
You said you'd kind of knew about the book to some degree.
He sent me the chapter and I went back into my Google, my Gmail account.
Yeah.
I can't find it.
Oh.
Just so disappointed because I know 1,000% it did not read like the way you read it.
He changed it after sending it to you. What do you think the biggest change was? I mean, like...
Well, first of all, none of that is true. We never had sex. He's a liar. So, that all needs to be redacted. I will tell you, I have the coveted name of Audrey because Audrey Hepburn was like the iconic idol of my life, right?
Oh, wow.
So he was kind of being very sweet in assigning me the name Audrey.
Okay, that's actually huge to know because we just assumed with all these that it's like plucking out of a hat. Like, okay. But that's cute that he had this
fun.
like
that is nice
real homage and knowing that one day you'll read this and you'll know the reference.
If you had to go to the specifics of that night, what was different or kind of how did he embellish it or you know, your memory versus his writing?
I remember being on the balcony. I do remember that.
We made our way to the balcony where the lights of the city sparkled across the harbor. The scene was ripe for romance, and I nervously searched my mind for just the right moment or action that would lead to a kiss.
Yeah, everything else is a lie. Okay, I will say this. Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like something I would say to try and convince myself to like.
Several minutes later, she emerged from the bathroom with a huge smile on her face. Well, it's only sex, she exclaimed as she bounded towards the bed.
Enjoy myself, you know what I mean? Because, and I definitely would have walked in the bathroom, not to wash myself, but you can thank whatever Miss Betty Crocker said. That was very lovely.
Let's revisit episode 9 for a flashback.
When women do that, when they go to the bathroom, what is that?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes if it's like, you're like, well, I wasn't planning on this. You got to go, like, throw some water on it. Maybe it'd been a minute. She had a long travel day.
It was not to wash myself. I'm very clean, thank you. I was literally giving myself a pep talk or trying to figure out a way to get out of it.
See, oh no.
But because it was very inappropriate. What am I doing? And drinking like a sailor.
One thing I did know was this. I was smashed. Tequila shots had long since kicked in, and we had already consumed a ridiculous amount of alcohol. I was being careful not to slur any words, but that effort was fruitless. How could this woman drink anywhere near as much as me and not be out cold? I wondered.
I mean, I'm Irish and German and English, but I mean, I was 106 pounds back then.
And you said you drank him under the table.
Of course I did. Of course I did. And I feel like your dad was always trying to keep up with me.
Yeah. The inappropriate of you're staying with them, was it the current relationship or was it just the whole thing? Or what was like?
Screw the relationship.
However, then came a major disappointment. She'd been living with a guy for the last 5 years.
Okay, yeah, so that was fine.
He didn't honor or respect me at all.
Yeah.
So this was my very first experience outlet to get away from him.
Yeah.
So you go to the bathroom, you're probably giving yourself a prep talk going like, all right, what am I about to be doing here?
We sat on the edge of the bed and resumed kissing. After only a minute or so, she excused herself to go to the bathroom. As it was fairly abrupt, I wasn't sure if she was losing interest, and my confidence started to wane.
Gosh, I'm like, did I start my period? Am I getting sick? Is I too much to drink?
You're going through all the excuses you could have to...
Eventually the alcohol won and convinced me to... to be honest with you, I don't remember. I mean, you could just be making all that up.
Possible you both don't remember. So I mean, you drank so much alcohol that night. It's very plausible you both just blacked out.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, also because you're when you came out of the bathroom there, your phrase was, "Well, it's just sex," which does lend itself to thinking you were in there giving yourself the prep.
Several minutes later, she emerged from the bathroom with a huge smile on her face. Well, it's only sex, she exclaimed as she bounded towards the bed.
That is so plausible. That just sounds like something I would say.
It does. It is very funny.
I just went through all the 10 commandments. I just basically did confession with my old priest in the mirror.
And that's why I think when he was unable to perform, you said the famous now line of, is it because of your divorce?
Is there something wrong? She asked in a very kind way. Is it because of your divorce?
And I definitely said that too. I absolutely would have said something stupid like that. I don't know if that was a power move or I was genuinely being sincerely concerned and trying to be like, hey, you can get off the hook. You know what I mean?
I think it was a point of sincerity. I think it was by no means like a jab at him.
No, but I think maybe, you're like, I was kind of so on maybe doing this anyway. I'll just say this and see what happens.
I definitely didn't, I was definitely nervous.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like a conquester, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Would you attribute that weekend seeing Bob in part as to why you finally broke it off with the guy in Florida, or was it kind of that was on the way out either way?
I needed a good kick in the arse, and there's nothing like a good dose of guilt to get me to own up to, is this relationship, that's not sanctimonious at all, so I wouldn't have been able to continue with that. So no, it was good. My sister was dead on.
It felt like your sister just coming in and being like, I think I've got the perfect plan.
100% was my sister's good heart trying to get me to leave this toxic, terrible relationship.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. May I say?
Yes.
Why we did not continue?
Yeah. Okay, so we're going through and we the way he phrases it, what we got in the book is that timing just didn't work out. And, by the time you finally moved to Charleston and was single, he was off doing his own thing, which Connor and I called bullshit on, but we'd like to get your perspective on that.
Right. Yeah, that is bullshit. But, I don't know if it was that particular trip or another trip, but we were standing in the PHV. He was like, oh my goodness, you know something? You have a striking resemblance to my ex-wife, Terry. I bet you two would really get along. And she came to the party. We were having some kind of party. You know, I remember meeting her in the kitchen of PHB. And instantly I was like, oh my God, I love your boots. She goes, oh my God, I love your skirt. Oh my God. And then like, you know, me and your mom were like thick as thieves. Like we hit it off. And I was like, Bob, this is just weird. I can't date you and be best friends with your ex-wife.
Well, it's funny because that's kind of the cardinal thing to not do is introduce someone to an ex-girlfriend or an ex-wife, because if they hit that relationship off, it does kind of nerf your chances for any sort of potential romance.
Yeah, I also think that your mom was kind of rooting for us to get together.
Yeah.
For two reasons. She liked me. She knew she liked me. She knew I'd be a good stepmom.
Yeah.
And she also really wanted me to take him off her hands.
That's, I think, the thing is that she finally goes, this is someone that reasonably I could see him falling in love with.
Remember when we went to the Thousand Islands? Your dad made it a point to like show me in detail every step he made to propose to your mom.
Wow.
It was the most sweet, most endearing thing.
Yeah.
And like for me, it was like, oh, you really did love her. You know, the divorce happened because it happened. It wasn't like, you know, hostile towards the other.
No.
Theme that we've discovered with Bob is that he was going back to that. He is a romantic guy. He's a locked in. He really has super passionate about, loves women. I think, what was your impression of that, or your kind of?
I think he had a little bit of that 70s gigolo mentality, right? With like the gold chain and the shirt unbuttoned and the hair on the chest and, hey, baby, you know?
Yeah. Was he a romantic in that sense? I mean, because he told me the proposal story, and it seems like throughout the book is like, he
is a romantic. He just tries to hide it because he's a little proud, you know?
Yeah.
He's also very persistent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought I made up my mind. Why did you banging on my door?
Is our conclusion of the episode where I do think you were the one that got away. We talk about a little bit where you were.
I definitely was. And again, I'm going to say I shot myself in the foot because I should have been with your dad.
You'd be back on the market now, given what ended up happening.
Given the conclusion.
So, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if you shot. He shot. Yeah. He's the one who ended up.
You might have had enough foresight there to.
I will say 2 of my exes are deceased, and then your dad would be 3.
Wow.
So that would make me, a black widow?
Yeah.
So it's probably a good thing I didn't marry him because I would have been blamed and judged.
And, you know, even you saying that now, I go, uh-oh. I go, maybe you guys had enough interaction.
I don't know. I think your dad always had feelings for me, but we tried to be friends, and I was just very difficult to have a relationship with because I didn't trust anybody.
Totally.
And Bob was in a much safer place as my friend, and we always hung out together. Yeah. We always had fun. Well, he got upset with me as a friend towards the end because I was dating a bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. So he genuinely was upset with me for hurting myself, basically, which he was right.
Yeah.
And Bob's like, you're smarter than this. You know, he's just frustrated with me because he wanted me to be in a healthy place.
Yeah.
And ultimately probably with him. But
yeah. So I guess you have somewhat of a track record of ending with some difficult guys. So I think.
I just love a challenge, you know? Give me who needs an escape room?
Our dad wasn't enough of a challenge. He was,
too nice. I mean,
he was,
Too nice can kill you sometimes.
He couldn't play it cool, I imagine. You know, he probably laid it on too thick. And at a certain point, not that you got the ick from him, but I imagine like he also had a bit, I think, of the like savior complex too, of like, oh God, like likes to intervene in situations like that. So I think it probably for him was a bit of a double hit where he's like,
I think that's true. And I should have been with your dad, to be quite honest. If I would have gotten out of my own way, it would have been a pretty cool thing.
He tells you about the book and he sends you your chapter, and I'm sure you had some notes. When you heard, because when I finished your chapter, granted, your chapter could have been, had he not had emotions for you, A lot shorter.
I think I could read between the lines, and I could feel that emotional connection. And I mean, listen, when you first did your first episode, I said, oh, I think they just said I have the shortest chapter. And I felt really kind of, I'm like, we did not have a short chapter in life. Like, that's crazy.
I know. But do you think that you in the back of his mind maybe prevented him from finding the one? Or do you think it's more of just...
I mean, look, we actually liked each other and enjoyed each other and were friendly with each other. Like, you know, and we were very supportive of each other. And he, very fairly enough, was mad at me for being with that terrible guy. And he was a terrible guy. That speaks to his level of compassion and, you know, sincerity for his friendships. And I do think there was a little bit that he wanted us to get together. But again, it was all my fault. I shot myself.
He concludes the book where he said, by the time you moved to Charleston, he was in a long-term relationship.
Several years later, she actually moved to Charleston. But at that time, I was already in a relationship that eliminated the possibility of us getting together.
Your perspective is that you actually met our mom.
Can I just say this? I do not know one single person that he had a relationship with. So I was very much preserved from the line of sight. I never once saw him with the broad, okay?
He was always single.
He was one day away from being single if you needed it.
He really was my person.
Totally.
And there really wasn't anybody else that replaced him on the level of genuine compatibility, you know?
It's hard to say disappointed in his chapter on you, but I think but it is funny how open he is about all of this dating, all these other feelings, but then it's coming to this chapter and, you know, I'm sure you felt it and we felt it where we go, that's not, and again, I'm hoping this comes back up in the book.
I think he was trying to maintain the continuity of the book.
When he ultimately got diagnosed, do you remember that conversation when he said he got diagnosed or any details from that time?
Oh, geez. I remember after I had this really gnarly surgery, after the brain surgery, and he came and helped me. He bought me this little medicine thing, days of the week medicine thing, and like what I take, and would divvy up my pills for me, and then we would go off on these little convalescent leaves where we would like book a hotel in like Savannah or whatever, Kiowa, and just take care of each other. And I'd be like changing his port out and giving him his meds, and he would give me my meds. And and then we would mix in some healthy alcohol on top of it, because why not?
It is. He was drinking till the end, more or less. I mean, till those last couple
he was
months.
Mixing some.
Hey, my favorite line, and I cannot hear this word without thinking about your father. I would come to the house, he'd open the door. You want to have a cocktail? You want to have a cocktail?
Anything else, Audrey, you would like to discuss about our...
I'm super grateful that, you know, your parents got divorced and gave me an opportunity to have such a fun time in Charleston.
It's funny, you benefited both from a relationship with our mom and a relationship with our dad, and I think it was, you know, both were wonderful. Guys, well, that wraps up today. Our first woman from the book, Audrey. You met her.
Yeah.
Does she live up to your expectations? She damn sure does. Because our dad fell in love with her. Yeah. I'm sure you have too. And guys, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next week on From Lust to Dust.
My horny dead friend.
From lust to dust.
Next week, we have comedian Amy Miller. See you next time.